Alright, we appear to be live. It seems like we're live. Let's just... I'll make sure to pause this, assuming it is. Or mute it at least, and then I can... Yep, definitely live. Perfect. Alright, and here you guys go. In case anyone wants, there's the link to the Discord, because we are actually going to be doing a community event of sorts today. And for those of you who do not know, the community event in question is going to be with Verdun. So let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? And you may be wondering why I'm doing this instead of just good old-fashioned the ace cast with Xerus. And Xerus is not feeling particularly well today. That's why. So, we will start by creating a squad, and this squad will be... We're going to go with a Central Power squad today. So, I'm thinking we will do Pioneer. And, okay, so I should have the ability to... Actually, I forgot. I need to create a squad that is set to friends only, I think, just so I can have a password put in. Or not. It's been a little while since I played this, admittedly. So, I'll just get it right eventually. I mainly play Entente, I will admit, typically, but... Or I could do Sturm Pioneer. Both are pretty valid options. I'll go with the Flamethrower because it's a Flamethrower. And with the Broom Handle. So we found a match. We are going right into it. Now this should be a 64-player match with bots. So yeah, we should be in for a fun time. Yeah, you guys are more than welcome to join on Discord too if you want. Looks like we just got it right at the start. Except it hasn't quite started yet. Okay, there we go.
Mach dich bereit zum Kampf!
So it looks like we actually have to defend right now, which is fine. Hopefully you guys can hear me. There we go. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of these shots by a little bit. He's down. Time to reload again. I'm making a big effort here. Oops, flamethrower time. Ah, he got me. Fair enough. So we will spawn on the line again. Got one. I hope everyone's having a good day, by the way. I know I am, for the most part. Now, let's make the push. Eat flamethrower. I only got one of them. Angel Martinez Rivera asks, Ace, have you played Enlisted? No, I have not. I've heard things about it, I just haven't played it yet. I might need to, though, from the way things are sounding. Is it a proper tactical shooter, or is it something a little bit more fast-paced? I think I can slip through there. Really, with my cards, right? Problem is, there's not a whole lot of cover if I get caught out in the open. Until I get to that little area right there. And that is apparently a no-go. There we are. Now, time to make a dash for it. Ow. Fair enough. Guten Tron asks, good afternoon, sire. How are things? Well, they are okay. Xeris is a little under the weather, which is why we're not doing the podcast today. Which is a shame, because I was going to be talking about Necromunda Hired Gun a little bit. Okay, we got one of them. And I got killed. Guten Tag says, also Enlisted is a tactical arcade. So it's kind of a little bit of a mix in between. Kind of like, well, this game, in all honesty, from what it's sounding. Which, if that's the case, that's actually pretty good. Okay, they got me fair and square there. Angel says, I played it a couple hours so far, but it's a little bit tactical. Okay. Apparently I got myself there. Good to know. We have, however, taken the trench. You can tell there's been a lot of fighting in this particular neck of the woods. I think we... Nope, someone else got me, but I got whoever that was. Vittorio says hello to me. Hey, Vittorio. I hope things are going well for you. That was the guy that shot me earlier. And that was the guy I killed earlier. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Okay, we'll make a mad dash for it. Okay, now we can make our move. We got them. Oh, sorry, dude. Alright, so let me read this comment here real quick. Goodtron says, I see you're throwing flames at people with your flamethrower. Yep. And lol, as you killed your past predator, all that came to my head was it's the circle of life. Yep. Alright, so it looks like there's a lot of action in this. Gas, 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 gas. Jacob Kennedy says, hello. Hello, Jacob Kennedy. We are playing some Verdun today. Got one. That's two. Oops. National Socialist German says, hi, hey National Socialist German. We are playing Verdun, which is a World War I FPS. Alright, now, I get killed by Walter Duncan. Amusing, but here we are. So it looks like they were able to take that position back, so we will have to counterattack and retake it. Although we're still ahead. And I think once we capture that point, they'll have nowhere to really run back to. Once we capture and hold it, I mean. So, yeah. Okay. And I got myself again. Hooray! I mean, to be fair, the flamethrower is powerful once you properly utilize it, so I suppose it's only fair that it be a hazard to you as well as the enemy. It is a flamethrower, after all. Yep, that's a no-go. This area could be good if I could get around this guy. Here we go. He's down. Whoever fired smoke at this area, I think it was white phosphorus they fired. So probably either a Marine squad or something similar to that. Or perhaps even my squad leader fired it. And I'm gonna have to restart the chat here so I can read it. Hold on. And I just got shot. Ah, well. Nathan X 2000 says, spicy username, my good sir. Indeed. Jacob Kennedy says, very spicy. Alright, so I think there is someone in this. Yep. And he got me, which is fair. Guttentrom says, what I'm dealing with, it's frustrating to take points and lose them now. Imagine that in real life, spend 3 months pushing a trench just to lose it and have to recapture it again. Yeah. That of course happened a lot in World War I as well. Verdun in particular was infamous for that. Some of the areas that were captured and recaptured 14 times over the course of the battle. Could anyone chat via Discord? Yeah, I'm actually on the Discord, so yes. If we can hold it for another 30 seconds or so, we should be good. Jacob Kennedy says that frame rate dropped faster than my grandma. Also that animation. Okay. I can hear someone in the Discord. Hello.
Check. Is everything coming through smoothly?
Yep, you're coming through smoothly.
That's a blessing.
Alright. So right now, the situation, we have a foothold in the trench here. Unfortunately, we are losing it.
World War I in a nutshell.
Yep. Got one of them. So, how's your day going?
Good, I've been just reading mainly.
Reading, you say?
Yep.
Anything interesting?
The Star Wars book, Vector Prime.
Okay.
From the old timeline, because fuck that, I'm not the into High Republic. Not after your live streams. I'm like, oh no.
Oh dear. Yeah, and the fact that it's
Buckets
actually...
of blood. Oh god.
Buckets of blood, the whole idea of them having to test Padawans by throwing entire planets into peril.
It hurts. Painful to watch. Or I should say read at this point.
Alright, so let me read some more of the comments here. Victoria Vaglio says, how are you doing? Pretty good. And, Senor Kaloon says, how's the feeling of this Verdun? I got myself Tannenberg and find it very nice. This one seems to have more panic and action going on. Yeah, well, it's more trench warfare than Tannenberg, so it is a little bit more close quarters, and it is hectic.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, anyways, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean about the High Republic, and to be fair, though, I might consider trying to do the other Star Wars Adventures stuff that's new as well, just to see how terrible that is.
Well, from one of the panels I saw, there's a CR-90 well before it was built, and I'm like, oh dear god.
You saw that in one of the Adventures comics, they gave Rey an NPC face.
Yeah. God, I missed the Dark Horse age. I actually got I got some of the old Dark Horse comics.
Victoria Vaglio says, can't wait for Zanzo release. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out as Zanzo, the third game.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Zanzo was the Italian front, so...
Oh!
So
they surrendered every 5 minutes?
Zanzo was where they fought at the same river 10 or 12 battles in a row.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, and And some of the battles, if you want to talk about ground, fighting over the same ground over and over and over again, yeah, the Italian front is especially notorious for that. Partly because they were fighting over entire mountains, and so, yeah, you can imagine how difficult it was to take those.
Poor bastards.
I think I read something like a good example was the fourth battle of the Isonzo was fought in 1916, late 1916, so around the same time as the Somme. And it was something like 100,000 casualties for 100 yards gained in the entire battle. Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. Holy crazy.
Agreed.
The Australians and the Italians weren't known for their war capabilities. Yeah, even though in Australia everyone's trying to kill them.
Or the Austrians, well, the Austrians, yeah, the Austrians.
I thought that said Australians.
Yeah, it's, sorry.
They're similar names.
Yeah, very similar.
Austrian, Australian. Like I'm Canadian. I'm proud of what the people in World, like, you know, the guys that went over in World War I did, and I absolutely despise Trudeau.
Yeah. Understandable on that one.
Everyone hates Quebec, and Quebec hates everyone. It's basically a joke at this point. It's like that meme where like everyone's pointing guns at one another. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
It's that times 10. Like.
Oh, something happened. I got midnight. So, Vittorio asks, what do you think of Anzac Day? The day which was April 25th when the Anzacs stormed Anzac Cove at Gallipoli, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, an important day in Australian and New Zealand history, to be sure. I actually did a video on it last year, if memory serves me right, where I actually talked about some lesser-known Anzac facts. Yeah, things are going rather hectic in this particular fight.
Yeah, it looks like an absolute clusterfuck on steroids.
Yep, everyone's going for the same part of the trench. Which is good news for my flamethrower if I can actually connect. And I can.
The Flammenwaffe.
It burps flammen. Okay, someone threw artillery down on the whole cluster, so that's good.
That is a little streak, probably a mile long.
Watch someone throw a grenade or something, too.
Yeah, there was one moment when I was reading a Star Wars book, I believe it was this one, Legacy of the Force Betrayal from Legends, and one line stood out to me as the author just being an absolute mad lad. Han, in this book, Han shoots first and bails himself out of a situation, and Leia comments on it. When everyone asks, he's like, what happened? He's like, don't worry, Han shot first. And I'm like, oh my god, I took a picture of it as well.
That sounds glorious.
Oh, it was like the author basically giving the middle finger to Lucas saying, no, Han shot first, asshole.
Remember when George Lucas was, Lucas losing his mind was the biggest problem for Star Wars? I miss those days. Oh well. Anyway.
Yuzong Gong War to get through. Just need one more book to finish it off. The collection. I have a good chunk of Legacy, 3 books in Fate of the Jedi, and the entirety of the Thrawn trilogy, and so many others.
Yeah, the old EU had tons of good stuff in terms of
Content?
books, games, you name
Great.
it.
Yeah, I think I'm missing only like a few X-Wing books. I got from Rogue Squadron to Starfighters of Adamar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good collection, though. I got Darth Plagueis. Like, I mainly got original prints because I found them all, like, in a box at a, what's its name, a thrift store for, like, dirt cheap.
That sounds very lucky, yeah.
Stupidly lucky. And other ones were just ones I found randomly at other thrift stores.
So, anyways, so have you seen the new Necromunda Hired Gun trailers and all that?
Not at all. I've never even heard of it.
It's Warhammer 40k.
Oh, I'm not a 40k fan at all. Like, I respect it, but it's like it's too much for me.
Fair enough. From what I'm understanding, this is going to be a bounty hunter game, so looks like it could be interesting.
My, oh my.
So yeah, I heard Azanzo, though, that one of the new things they're going to be putting into that is, it looks like that you're going to be finally able to actually use mortars and stuff like that, so it's been a while since that's been in a game like that. Oh. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the first for this particular franchise, but I know Battlefield 1918 has useful mortars, of course, and some of the devs that worked on this worked on that, so.
Battlefield 19. Every time I hear Battlefield, I think of EA's Battlefield.
It's a mod, so it technically is.
God. Okay, that brings it into perspective.
But it's still going strong. I actually helped work on it a little bit.
Interesting.
Well, we won. Which is to say, we took exactly one trench and held it.
God, imagine. Oh, I can only imagine how those guys back then felt. What do you mean we only took one trench? We're fighting for hours.
Yeah. Yeah, so the squad leveled up a few times, that's good. Let's see.
Yeah, I also have the despecialized editions on my hard drive of the original cuts of Star Wars.
Ah, cool.
God bless the guy who did it, because I'm basically giving up all hope we're gonna get them. Like, I started out with it was 2006 Gout DVDs and moving on up from there.
Yeah, I grew up with the old VHS copies before, where they didn't edit them yet, so this was apparently the last chance to get the whole trilogy unedited.
Oh yeah, the one last time trailer. The only trailer where it was true.
Yep.
They weren't lying.
Good and Trum says there were some old Battlefield games that you had mortars on them. Yep, Battlefield 1 has mortar. Well, okay, so if we're talking about... Sorry, had a little bit of action there.
There are some old Battlefield games that had mortars on them. I wouldn't deny it, and I would not be surprised if there was.
Like I said, 1918 we had mortar kits in that, and one of the new changes that we've added is that you can turn them around, pick them up, drop them off, that sort of thing.
And basically rain death from above on any unfortunate bastard who got near.
In theory, of course, it's usually best to have a spotter. Although with mortars, you don't quite need that, unless you're talking about the heavier ones. Because we do have multiple varieties of mortars in that.
But yeah, like on the weekend, what's his name? Osmagon? Yeah, we had I had an interesting stream, and I was, he brought in some of the guys from the Discord to talk about, the shit that was going on with, ED, whatever his name is. And, yeah, it led to some interesting and colorful conversations.
You said it was about leaky cheese?
Leaky cheese?
Well, who did you say it was about? 3D or leaky or something?
ED something.
Oh, okay.
Like, I can't remember the full name, but I remember the first 2 letters.
Ah.
He was busted for, like, pedophilia or something. Yeah, he was busted for...
Ooh.
It was a civilized conversation, but also full of colorful bits.
Understandable, given the circumstances.
Yep. It was a good demo.
Alright, anyways, so... Yeah, I didn't see that, so... I didn't... Yeah, that's news, though, that another guy got busted for that. It's insane.
Yeah.
Grabt euch ein! Sie kommen zurück!
Man, another pedo bites the dust, hopefully.
Indeed. Hopefully the prison knows about what that particular guy's done.
What's going on? Serial killers have more soul than pedophiles.
Yeah.
I think one game that is done partially properly was Arma from Luton Arma.
Yep, I remember.
Never played Arma, but it's on the list.
So, anyways, any particular guys you excited, or any particular games you guys are excited for?
I really don't have a list on that. Like, thanks to the Epic Game Store, I got Alien Isolation for free. Thank God.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard some good things about that one.
Yep, IGN completely screwed the pooch again.
What'd they do?
4 out of 10. AI is too smart.
Seriously?
Along with their Pokemon one of their Pokemon reviews, something 7 out of 10. Too much water.
Yep.
I'd hate to see that reviewer's reaction to Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Date of
Oh
Tuesday 3.
dear.
I thought that was Days Gone, but yeah, we ain't getting Days Gone 2.
Stellung halten!
I actually want what's it called, 7 Days in Fallujah to get released to completely piss off the people on Twitter.
Yep. Yeah, John Phipps has been losing his mind over that. And did you actually see that they've been trying to get it banned?
Yeah.
I don't know how that guy was... Oh! I don't know how I didn't see that guy. This place is just swarming with enemies.
Soylist, ISO boring.
This game, or in comparison to Tannenberg, you mean?
Nah, I think he was calling it, I think he was referring to Alien Isolation, Zoomer Waffen.
Oh. Zoomerwaffen. Okay, yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, he's a regular. He says Soylent, Isoborington. Okay. Boring.
Sie greifen an!
Even though I'm part German, me trying to pronounce German is like the Japanese voice actor Sabaska trying to do German.
Ah.
And Tiffany Grant. Nah, I'm probably worse.
Alright, well, anyways. But yeah, I know that, like I was saying, they were trying to ban the game.
Which is stupid.
Calling
That's
it...
censorship on so many levels.
Yeah, they were calling it an Arab murder simulator. Hello, Jack Thompson.
Okay, so what would an Antifa game be called? Oh, terrorism.
Yeah. Gutentron says, "Lol, imagine him reviewing." Well, it's actually the woman. It's actually a girl, and it's the same girl that reviewed that reviewed the Cyberpunk 2077 and complained about the politics rather than actual points that the game actually did screw up.
Oh, shit. Try pronouncing Cartofiesta or whatever. I can't fucking pronounce it.
What is? Let's see. Cartofelislat? Okay. The gamer says, "What game is this? I'm stupid. Don't mind me, Verdun." Okay, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a fairly obscure game, admittedly. Senior says, "State of Decay 3." Yeah.
Los, los, los! Attacke!
But anyways, yeah, it's... Sorry, anyways, so you were saying?
Me?
We were talking about 6 Days in Fallujah getting... Or them trying to get it banned.
Like, the whole trying to get that game banned, pretty much... Like, imagine if they decided to ban our America. They would be up in arms.
Apparently now there are calls to try to get that game banned now too, apparently. From the woke crowd, because they're saying that it profiteers off of the suffering of that particular community. No, really.
They eat their own, like, goddamn.
Exactly.
Oh, the hypocrisy of these morons is astronomical.
Stellung halten!
Yeah, let's just instead pretend that there's absolutely zero problems and everything. But yeah. If I had to describe the woke crowd in a video clip, it would be the argument clinic from Monty Python.
Or any Monty Python clip, basically.
Yeah, but that one in particular, I've come here to complain.
I just switch complaint department to what you call Twitter.
Yeah. Kaimet the Gamer says, would you say Verdun is worth a buy? Yeah, go ahead and pick this one up, I think. It has bot support, so even if there's hardly anyone actually playing, you can still get a full match anyways. Okay, someone's shooting something pretty big.
God, I remember I was in a music class and one teacher was like claiming Elvis stole from black artists. I'm like, and I actually said aloud, you know he lived in poor black neighborhoods, you know. You know what he did for the black community, right? Even after he got famous. And, I've never seen a person shut up so fast in my life.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about virtue signaling. You don't actually have to know anything about the topic at hand to do it. Until someone that does know something about it actually corrects you. Yeah. Let's see, Stanley says, calling 6 Days of Fallujah an Arab murder simulator is like calling all Arabs are terrorists. It's not like the game encourages you to shoot civilians. Correct. The game does not encourage you to shoot civilians. Although, you want to know what's ironic, is that a game that the SJW community did defend back in the day, or at least the establishment professors that created the SJWs did try to defend, was an actual pro-terrorist game made by Hamas, trying to justify and that one, if I remember correctly, the whole point of that one was you started out as a Palestinian civilian watching a mosque or something get attacked by the Israelis, and then it goes from that to you as the Palestinian going into a terrorist and then gunning it down a whole bunch of Israeli civilians or something like that. That is an actual... I mean, if you wanted to call any game like that, that would be a lot closer than the sort of thing than something like 6
Days in Fallujah is trying to...
Yeah.
6 Days in Fallujah is just trying to tell the true story.
Yeah. And you want to know what the punchline is? This was actually in Games of Empire. They were defending this, the book there, and it was in comparison to a game called Full Spectrum Warrior. Now, are you familiar with Full Spectrum Warrior?
No, I am not.
That is that one does kind of venture a little bit into propaganda-ish, because it was used as a training tool, but it was also one of those things like America's Army that was pushed by the Army. But yeah, the whole idea was that it's a real-time strategy game, but on the squad level. So you're commanding 8 guys. Well, technically it would be 9 guys, but because it's a game, they lowered it to 8 for some weird reason. Anyway, so... But yeah, that one you're just shooting actual terrorists, though, and if you actually played the military version of it, the civilians actually a lot of times tend to help you out because they're just as pissed off at the terrorists as you are because, well, these are terrorists we're talking about. But the point is, they're trying to compare that to the game made by Hamas and say that that Hamas isn't as bad or something like that.
I'm gonna need a few acid pills for that.
Yeah. To be fair, though, this is the same 2 professors that thought that hunting gold farmers in World of Warcraft is, and I quote them, an act of ethnic cleansing.
Oh, sweet mother of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Gutentrom says, to be honest, I'm happy the movement eats itself. Yeah, that's the one. That's the only good thing to really be said about the woke crowd is they, like we said...
They will eat each other.
Yeah. And it seems
They'll eat each other faster than Amber Heard does herself.
Oof.
No love for that woman. Fuck that bitch.
Well, we seem to be holding this position pretty well, at least.
You know, I'm willing to place $5 if the stream is demonetized already.
For some reason, I tend to have pretty decent luck with the streams, at least in terms of monetization. Usually, it is my videos, my regular videos that get demonetized. But the good news is, that I'm starting to learn the ways of YouTube censorship, so I'm actually just finding ways to just say different words that mean the exact same thing, just to skirt around it.
Interesting.
Which results in the woke crowd that do come into the comments, for example, constantly getting their comments deleted by YouTube while accusing me of censoring them, only for me to then point out, no, that's not the case. It's just the thing that you supported is now going after you because that's how the algorithm works. Kaimat says, I didn't move myself away from all politics. I was getting in the way of my relationship, so I hear most things offhand. That's understandable. I do think that one of the things that is one of the big downfalls of the woke crowd is the fact they make everything political. Because then you can't...
Why I never take them seriously.
Yeah, but the other thing is, when you make everything political, people now can't just escape your nonsense. They have to actually look at it head on, unfortunately. Thanks to you. You have no one else to thank but yourself when that happens.
Nothing but you, yourself, and a bottle of whiskey.
Yep.
You know what I actually saw Rise of, what was that movie? Oh yeah, Rise of the Skywalker for free.
I wasn't.
And when the movie was done, I walked to the counter and said, can I please get my money back to the popcorn at least? I didn't enjoy myself. It was waterboarding.
It's not waterboarding if you use these.
Of a 2-hour torture, 2.5-hour torture session. And my older brother was with me, like the most stupid shit in the film. We would just laugh our asses off till the scene was basically over and go straight face. And then when the other stupid shit happened, we'd break out laughing even more.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, what are your thoughts on, in your opinion, is Rise of Skywalker worse than Turkish Star Wars?
No, Turkish Star Wars is a piece of art compared to Rise of Skywalker. I would rather watch Turkish Star Wars. That's entertaining. Like, it's on the show bad, it's good level.
I agree on that.
While with Rise of Skywalker, it's just unadulterated pain for 2+ hours.
Yep.
To be fair, I did watch Aliens right afterwards just to cleanse it out of my mouth.
Good move, good move.
Yeah, the special edition version.
Nice. Charm says, one fundamental mistake of the social media is to censor things they disagree with. They think people will come back to them when they start getting curbed by governments or the traditional media.
Nope.
Nope. Kaimat says, dude, The Rise of Skywalker was a really bad movie. They make the movie never give you time to think. They try to overload you and force you to enjoy yourself. By giving you time to think. Okay.
The one thing that got me was cloning A Secret of the Sith. And I actually said aloud, the Canamoans would like to talk with you! We had an whole episode named Attack of the Clones!
So, anyways,
Dude, Rise of Skywalker was a really bad movie. They make the movie. Oh wait, you read this one?
Yep.
Oh.
So, did you hear about? So, what are your thoughts on us getting a Rise of Skywalker manga now?
Okay, where's the LSD?
Greift ihre Position an!
I got a Lucy in the sky with diamonds. This shit.
Angriff!
Ugh.
Greift ihre
Are they
Position
actually
an!
serious?
Yes, they are. They have SJW writers writing the script, but the actual
Oh, you mean
artwork
High
is
Republic.
Japanese, so it is a manga.
Oh, you mean High Republic?
Yeah, it is High Republic.
Oh, I heard Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, oh fuck no.
Sorry, not Rise of Skywalker, High Republic. It could be that I misspoke.
Okay, so Japanese artists, so at least we know the art won't be trash. But a piss poor story by a Lucasfilm story group member who is a complete racist.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Hidden Boss asks, how is the war going? We are ahead, though it is not by too much, because they did just retake the trench.
Going by World War I standards,
Los, Attacke!
better than World War I.
Position an!
Yeah, sounds about right. Trump says to Kaimat, be a true German, never apologize. Oof.
Yikes.
Kaimat says, my apologies, English is still... That's okay.
Oh, that's alright. English is a bitch of a language to learn anyway. Even for natural speakers of English, at times it is just unpronounceable.
Greift ihre
Of course, that could be the reason because I'm autistic, but fuck it. I'm borderline.
Ukrainian Fedora says, a manga of it? No. Oh god, why? What are the guys over there thinking? I love many things out of Japan, but that's not one of them.
Well, basically they're trying to
Position an!
cash in on those manga sales without knowing what makes manga popular, which is good story, good writing, and great art. Hell,
And-
even a sub-tier manga would have great art and a decent story.
Yep.
Hell, hentai has better stories than Disney Star Wars at this point.
Oof. Kaimat says,
All I need to say is metamorphosis, and any of you who are cultured will know what I mean.
Well, I don't really watch or read any hentai myself, so...
Oh, I've only read the wiki to this one, and it's fucking disturbing.
Okay. I will take your word
Let me
for
say
it.
this: innocent girl goes from innocent girl to complete whore and dies at the end.
So it's...
And just as the bit, she was beginning to pick up her life. It's just sad.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I mean,
You know
I
what?
like manga, but
Okay.
I don't like it when.
Do you think, do you think that a manga or an hentai manga focused around Rey would be salvageable for the character?
No. No, that's fine. No.
Why not? They might actually give her a character.
Fair. No.
So, Ukrainian Fedora says, I mean, I like manga, but I don't like it when it's trash. So that looks like they have successfully held... No, we did actually take it, it looks like. We took... I think we took the trench. Nope, it's
Yeah,
still...
Yeah, I have all 6 volumes of the Akira, the manga.
Okay.
Big, thick volumes of paper, like 2,000 plus pages long, and it's fantastic. Like, the art is like just super top-notch. The story is grand and epic. It's science fiction, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Which takes place... Well, the manga takes place more in the 2030s, and the film took place in 2019. And in another instance of, like, coincidence, they predicted the Olympics dead on for Tokyo.
Ooh.
Yeah, then it got canceled due to Rona.
So apparently I was MVP. That's something. Cool. Oh, I see why. It looks like I'm the only.
Costs like. Yeah, the film version cost 1.1 billion yen, which was like 10 to 11 million dollars back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like just bigger budget than a big budget Studio Ghibli film.
Mm-hmm.
I actually recommend watching the movie because the movie is like, it's like the first half of the book, but but the movie was used to figure out the ending and
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
It's one of the only good movies where the writer was in charge of directing and he knew how to make a good movie.
Cool.
The movie's more like okay, what do I do for the ending of the book? But also making it a satisfying movie. And it's R-rated as fuck.
Well, yeah, I've seen the movie, yeah. You're right on that one.
You know, I saw that one with my dad. Oh god, he was like, yo!
Kaimat says I really miss the old Star Wars Legacy era stuff. Agreed. You remember back when...
Even the old expanded universe, at its weakest moment, could still pull off better than High Republic.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, but I'd rather read the Crystal Star than fucking go anywhere near the High Republic.
Yeah, and it's not bad enough that they need just one comic book series. It has to be two. And they have to expand it with a manga.
And I think the crossguard lightsaber is a stupid idea, but the sound is so good. I can't believe it's wasted on shitty character.
Agreed.
Oh, a Vader knockoff! Oh wait, I'm leaving that behind. Nope, stay! I'm going back, bitches! Oh wait, I'm dead.
Kaimat says she is too perfect. Well, yes, she is a Mary Sue. Gutentrom says she's a Mary Sue.
What do you expect?
Kaimat says she really is, and I feel bad. That could have been a good movie. It could have been, if you had better writers and better directors.
Is it just me, or does J.J. Abrams accidentally sabotage everything he's connected to?
I don't know why people used to like him that much. I mean,
because he was under Spielberg and Spielberg's movie god, basically.
Yeah, he was basically viewed as the second coming of Jesus as far as films were concerned. But
I think that would go to Mr. Rogers, but the second coming of Jesus that nobody noticed.
But the thing is about, like, when it comes to JJ, I actually watched... I don't know why everyone used to like his reboot of Star Trek, because it just didn't roll on.
Even at, like, 10... Like, when I saw that, like, I believe I was... Yeah, when did that... 2009? I was, like... I'm 19 now, so it was, like, years ago. I hated that movie. I'm like, that's not Star Trek, that's Star Wars with the Trek slapped on.
What I really hated about it was what they did to Captain Kirk's character. I can't stand Captain Kirk in the reboot.
Hey, the guy playing Spock was at least decent.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a good replacement for Leonard Nimoy if they do a prequel, but it's like, wrong movie, man.
Yeah, I actually almost like
Oh, what am I-
Into Darkness
what am I-
slightly more than the original, just because Kirk wasn't made to be as bad in that.
Oh, what's my favorite? God. One of my second favorite movie is Star Trek 6, and my first favorite is, well, of course, Wrath of Khan.
Attackierung halten!
2, 3, and 4 are the holy trilogy for me.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. That is the one I. Everyone basically calls that the Star Trek trilogy and just leave one out of it, but number 1 does have its good merits.
It does.
Its special effects are still like jaw-dropping. And the Enterprise in that movie just beautiful.
Agreed.
Never been a big Star Trek fan, but Kirk's character was killed. Yep. So was Picard. So was Spock. So they haven't ruined McCoy yet, and if I don't ruin McCoy,
Gundrum says, never been a big Star Trek fan, but Kirk's character was killed. Yes. That is exactly how I would describe it.
the one thing Disney Star Wars done right was the Vader comic. Yeah. They only got him right. It's very easy to portray evil.
Especially when you are evil like Disney.
Yeah. I hate Alex. What's his name? Alex Kurtzman. I hate that man with passion for what he did to Star Trek. But he was a Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
He was an executive producer on one show for that franchise, Transformers Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the showrunners did this. They used him for his connections and then told him to fuck off. And I fucking love that. Like, they don't say it outright, but they kind of, just... It's more hinted to in the audio commentaries, which is hilarious.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and the cast is just fantastic in that show. You got Peter Cullen back, Frank Welker, who's absolutely pants-shittingly terrifying, Steve Bloom at Starscream, Gina Torres and Jane from Firefly. You got a solid as fuck cast, and they're all fantastic. They even got Michael Ironside for a bit. They got George Takei for a little bit. They had some solid fucking cast members. And the show is a 3-season. It is good shit. Like, it is some good television. Like, there are moments where you go, oh, okay. But there are moments where you're like, fuck yes! Woo!
Alright, so... Lion Eamon says, yes, lollies in the trenches. Lion Eamon and his lollies.
And this show came out in 2010, 2000, and ended in 2013. This was before the woke shit.
Gutentrum says, I agree, the Vader character was really well done. Kaimat the Gamer says, I feel like anime, Warhammer 40k, and some other small bastions of untainted stuff from the SJW. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but I can tell you that they are starting to try to get into Warhammer 40k. A good example, a really good example, is the Marnius Cringegar comic. Yeah, they killed off Marnius Cringegar in his own comic in issue 2, in a backstory.
Oh yeah, and the show I was talking about, Transformers Prime, it's the only show where both the bad guys and the good guys are literally the most entertaining people to watch. Like, whenever you go over to the bad guys' perspective, you're like, oh, it's the bad guys. You're like, oh yeah, here's the good shit. Yeah, I watched that on Netflix before I got rid of Netflix. Cuties. One ride.
Kuntram says, but as you pointed out, it's easy to put your qualities on a character when you are evil. It's easy to make someone hateful and filled with anger and rage. Yep.
Oh, shit!
Lions Amon says, hold the line, protect the lollies, Creeksman.
Protect the lollies! Black Dude, Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop. Did it.
Cowboy Bebop was a good anime.
Mm-hmm. I watched it without knowing anything really about it. I'm like, oh, this is revered. Might as well check it out. I watched it with the English dub, like everyone told me to, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually bopping.
Yeah,
I never skipped the intro. Never. That's
yeah.
considered a war crime.
Yes, it would be. I'll admit I mainly watch, when I do watch anime, it's mainly dubbed, but, yeah.
I prefer dub as well. Unless the dub is absolute trash.
Yeah, that's a good point, but UW has to be hilariously trash. Like, that one anime, I forget the name of it, where...
Ghost Stories? That dub is genius. Like, it is so fucking funny. Oh, me and my little sister watched it together, and we were dying the whole time.
Now, I don't know the name of this one anime, but I did see a clip of it where this girl is comparing titties to torpedoes.
Oh, God.
And if you haven't seen that clip, my God, it's on YouTube. Watch it.
I'll get to it.
It is hilarious. Kai Matt the Gamer says Cowboy Bebop was good anime. Ghost in the Shell, yep, good movie.
I've seen Ghost in the Shell.
Silent Voice, I haven't heard of that one, but he says it's a good movie.
Oh, the Fate series with
Fate
its
series?
fucking continuity.
I have heard of this Fate series. Kenny and Bokdora says, I prefer sub.
I can criticize you for it. But let me say this, if you're gonna watch the series, don't try and follow that shit. You are gonna get lost. Chronologically. You're gonna get fucked in the head. Berlin Panzer is a bad anime, but it's really fun to watch. So I've heard.
I'd have to see it myself. I have it, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Let's see, ones that I've watched, well, obviously some of the classics like Full Out Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood are pretty good. But that's a little bit too obvious, everyone's seen that, so... Assassination Classroom's pretty good.
What other anime do I have? I'm trying to remember.
I will say this, Evangelion
Yeah, I've got
is
the Castle
pretty...
of Cagliostro, Porco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Lupin the Third, the First.
Yep, I got all those. Yeah, those are good. So you're a big Studio Ghibli fan, eh?
Yeah, I love I like Miyazaki's work. You know, it's like easy to get lost in it.
Yeah, agreed.
And they're somewhat good stoner flicks. You can just watch the pictures and be like, oh yeah. Like they're beautiful to look at. Except that 3D one.
Kaima, the gamer says, Fate/Zero is the only anime I know that a dude levels a building to kill one person. Let's see, what's the name of it? Mirai Nikki also has that.
Goblin Slayer is a good one. So I've heard. I heard Konosuba is drop dead hilarious. I would not deny that. I've seen the clips on YouTube and I tried so hard not to laugh.
So, next Monday, after the game stream, I think is going to be when we get to see the movie community event.
Alright.
And I have 2 picks in mind, so I'll put it up to a poll which you guys want.
So what are they?
Well, I'm gonna just tell you the genres. One is a sort of a horror film, and the other is a war film. But you wanted obscure but good, so these 2, I believe, are obscure but good.
Obscure but good.
Yep. Both, by the way, are historical films.
Ah. Interesting.
And I know one of them, Count Dankula, did an absolute Mad Lads on one of the historical figures. A guess as to which.
I don't know exactly. Oh shit, I forgot I have 2 copies of that movie.
Which movie?
The Castle at Cagliostro. I bought a French or English DVD, English Blu-ray, but once I realized, oh wait, I can't play this on my PS4? Fuck!
You know, now that you mention it, if I was going to do a So Get Bad It's Good and start into anime, I now know what it would actually be a good show, but with a hilariously awful dub of it.
Oh, well, there is Robotech, like, there's so many dubs.
The Speedy dub for DBC.
The what?
The Speedy dub.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh,
you know exactly what...
Oh, fuck. Is that the one where, like, let that kid alone or some shit?
No, that's the big green dub. That's the other bad dub.
Oh. Wait, more than one?
Yeah, there's multiple. I mean, there's also a bad dub of the original Dragon Ball, the Harmony Gold, where they turn Corn into Whiskers the Wonder Cat. But the big green dub is the one that you're thinking of where he says, let that kid alone, which is the European dub. But there's also the Speedy dub, which I think is from Singapore?
Oh, God, Singapore. Oh, no.
With lines such as, if I don't eat rice, the power won't come.
Oh God, I'm getting what's Transformers the Headmaster vibe because that dub is fucking insane. How bad it is.
The dub is so bad that the music tries to kill itself. Because every single song in the Speedy dub is warped in one way or another, so it never sounds right.
They were trying to skirt past the copyright law.
Let's see. Kaimat says another series that is really fun to watch is a certain specific scientific railgun and a certain magical index. Okay.
Oh God, I got all the. I got like first 6 volumes of RWBY. Fuck me, I regret that. Like, I don't regret the first 3 volumes, but the rest I regret with a passion. God rest Monty Ohm. Fuck you, Rooster Teeth.
Yep. But yeah, maybe also the big green dub, by the way, would be another thing I'd probably watch it as a so bad it's good sort of deal.
Or the Ghost Stories dub, which would be absolutely perfect.
Have you also seen Samurai Pizza Cats and the English dub of that?
I do not dare to touch such a thing.
No, really. It's basically a bridge series, but official.
That was basically Ghost Stories, so I know what to expect. And I've only seen Hellsing Ultimate via the abridged series. Oh God, I can't get Alatar's voice just in that is just too perfect for me.
Commander Wolfel says, is this Over the Wire? No, this is not Beyond the Wire, this is Verdun, which is a different World War I FPS. And
welcome
by the way,
to Verdun, boys! Pum, pam, pum, pam. Oh wait, wrong song!
And Ukrainian Fedora says, I know that one, not bad at all. Let's see. I was thinking about this. Oh yes, best abridged. What? All right. So what's the best abridged series of all time, and why is it Code Geass or Code Vein?
Never heard of it.
It's an abridgment of Code Geass, and it is.
Oh, is this the one where the soup meme came from?
Yes.
Oh God!
The entire show, the entire abridgment series, though, is like that.
Feindliche Truppen!
I'm at the soup store.
There's other.
I would give the best abridged title to SAO Abridged by Something Witty Entertainment because they managed to completely salvage that shit.
Mm.
And honestly, watching what's his name, Yamato SFX playing basically an asshole the entire time is the funniest shit on the planet.
Agreed.
Nothing of it was awesome anime, and the abridged version was literally comedy gold. Yeah, it basically wrote itself. SAO Abridged is my favorite. Yeah.
Pulsing Ultimate Abridged is gold, says Lion Amon. Yes, it is.
Of course it is.
Yes. Stanley Leonard Darnelli says SAO Abridged is my favorite. Vittorio says I finally translated in English an Italian War Diary. Cool. Sounds interesting, actually.
Sounds like an interesting read.
I know one diary I was actually in the market for finding, if I could find it reasonably priced, was an English translation of Admiral Yi Sun Shin, which another film that I might actually do a good war film on, now that I mention it, is The Admiral Warring Currents. It's basically the best way for me to describe Admiral Yi Sun Shin is he's the Horatio Nelson of Korea. An absolute legend in terms of military history. This one battle that this film is about, by the way, he takes 12 Paneo skins, which are by this point obsolete rowboat battleships, and takes on a Japanese fleet of something like 180 or 280 or something ridiculous like that, and wins without losing a single ship.
Who is this, Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Huh?
Oh, I just said, who is this Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the dude actually, he used the local area to the best of advantage, because apparently there was a whirlpool that shows up at specific times, and he used that to time his strategy and whatnot. So he used the current he made sure that the current was pushing the Japanese back while he kept shelling them and all that, and then when the time was right, he just charged into them.
Jesus Christ, man, that is some Chad levels of big brain.
Yeah.
And I do that in complete respect, like, holy shit.
The guy, though, the film is, yeah, it's a good film. It is a Korean movie, and, well, it's a film that they're very proud of, so it's a little bit... They do hype it up a little bit with some Hollywood stuff, but it's still a good movie, I'd say. Mm-hmm. And it does capture the story, I think. The problem...
I was actually kind of disappointed with Midway.
Yeah, Midway has its strong points and has its weak points. The weak point is the pacing.
I prefer Tora.
Agreed.
I saw that movie when I was like stupidly young on cable back when they, actually showed historical films.
See, aside from that, other good historical films, if we're going back in the day, some that I would recommend include Waterloo would be a really good one. Gettysburg, a lot of people like Gettysburg, and I can see why, although it is long. Das Boot, another really long one, but good if you're into that. But shorter ones, let's see. Battle of Britain would definitely be up there.
One thing we don't have a movie about Paul. Finland von Leto Vorback.
What now?
Oh, good to Tarma. Posted something. I don't know what he's talking about. One good war show is Generation Kill.
Yep.
Well, somebody definitely came from, what's his name? The Almighty Lolly. He just did a review on that show.
Guten Trump. Okay, so I see Guten Trump's comment. One thing I'm upset is that we don't have a movie about Leto Vorback. Yep, Leto Vorback is an absolute legend in his own right. I'd say he had the best guerrilla warfare campaign in all of history, which is pretty amazing considering he fought it in a country that he wasn't native to.
I want to see a movie on the back. DY031101 says.
Sebastian Christie
I want to
says,
see a movie on the Battle of Simar, but I'm 100% sure if I want to see it from Hollywood.
Sebastian Christie
I'm not
says,
100% sure if I want to see it from Hollywood. Oh, that's
Alright, so Sebastian
don't trust
Christie
Hollywood.
says,
we call it Hollywood.
Leto Vorbeck was sick, except for the anti-Semitism. Here's the weird thing about Leto Vorbeck. I'm not sure if the guy was actually anti-Semitic from what I've seen. I think the thing is, with Leto Vorbeck, it appears to be a case where the stuff, where all the bad stuff that gets brought up about him was a product of the 50s, after World War II, where they didn't want a German war hero to really be popularized all that much. So it's curious that all the stuff trying to speak ill of him comes from that. And thing is, I've heard people say that he was an anti-Semite, but I've never actually seen any evidence of this.
It's a lot more they said than he said situation.
The only thing I've actually seen was he did actually fight. The only thing I can see was he fought the communists after World War I. That is true. So he did join Free Corps, which is commonly associated, but not necessarily anti-Semitic. You didn't have to be anti-Semitic to be Free Corps, because for one thing, there were a lot of Jews in Free Corps as well. But that does seem to be the closest to actual evidence of him being that, from what I've seen. I know he also had. So yeah. Sebastian Christie says, "I didn't know that. Thanks. That's okay." It's one of those things where I do want to do some more research before I make a proper video on it. But from what I've read so far and from what I've seen, it does seem like the guy's has had something of a smear campaign going on against him.
Like, I'm not even going to talk about that one. I'm sick of hearing the whole Kick Vic situation.
The Kick Vic? Ah, yeah.
There's one of the Channel Awesome people, too, which I find hilarious.
What about Channel Awesome?
Oh, it was Mars Girl from Channel Awesome that started that whole shit.
Well, yeah, I heard about something about that, but I didn't really follow too much on it, admittedly.
Same here. They tried to say he hated gay people, but he defended gay rights in front of an anti-gay Christian couple. Which kind of just shoots the theory in the foot. And you can find footage of that.
They even sang "Hey a Safari" when he visited him, which includes the German word, which is the equivalent. Okay. His Askari loved him. Okay, so yeah, I do know that the Askari that he commanded absolutely loved Leto Vorbeck. To be fair, Leto Vorbeck held nothing but respect for the men under his command as well. Which is why he was one of the very few officers that ever even decided to make African natives officers in his command, which was absolutely unheard of, and was even something that his white officers didn't really agree with him. A lot of them didn't agree with him, but he did that anyways because he saw these guys as individually having potential. The broom story, yes, yeah, I did actually hear about that, where they performed a drill with a broom, because a lot of them didn't really have documentation to prove that they were Askari. So they would perform drill with a broom, and something like not a single one of them failed the test because they all remembered it that well because he trained them that well, which is another thing that Leto Vorbeck was known for. He trained the troops under his command pretty well. Alright.
Interesting.
But yeah, so there's actually, if you never heard of Leto Vorbeck, a lot of really good stories about this man. Where to even start? Well, first of all, Leto Vorbeck was a German officer in World War I that served in German Africa. German Southeast Africa, specifically. Nowadays, would be Tanzania, would be the area that it would be now. But at the time, he only had at max around 10,000 troops and was constantly facing enemy forces 10 times his size, and yet never lost a battle, despite also not having any resupply in the war, being completely cut off from Germany. He ended up fielding the biggest artillery of any nation of any troops in Africa in the war, because what he did was when one of the German naval ships sank in one of the rivers off the coast or something, he took the guns off that particular ship and turned them into ad hoc field artillery.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Yes, it is. Some of the other stuff, he ended the war with more men than he had at the start. Even because a lot of volunteers just kept swelling his ranks and whatnot from the locals and all that. Even though he was not resupplied at any point because he kept on capturing enemy equipment, he ended up with more ammunition than his troops could carry. And he even fought the last battle associated with World War I a few days after the armistice and only surrendered when he found out the war was over. And by surrender, I mean he gave himself over to the guy he had just captured.
Vittorio okay.
Vittorio
I'm
says,
sorry, I might have missed your response. Would you like to look up the war diary? I translated. That's
Sure,
the guy who translated the war diary.
yes, I would actually. That sounds pretty interesting. So yeah, on that topic, let's see, books about any particular war diaries that you've found to be rather interesting in your opinion?
Never read a war diary in my life. Unfortunately, I wish I read a few, but back in school libraries were rather scarce for that because we gotta think of the children bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, you're true on that one. To be fair, I did actually find some decent books that weren't gotten rid of at that point, like, not really war diaries, but stuff like The Airman's War. I was able to find a copy of that and read through that. Pretty good book. Vittorio says, all right, how do I send it to you? Well, there's a few options. You could actually send it to me on Discord. If you want, my profile should be on the Discord, the Discord link I have there. You should be able to find me easily through that, so that's an option. Sebastian says he wasn't reinforced with fresh troops once. Correct. Another thing about Leto Vorbeck, by the way, is apparently he ended up having his own, developing his own treatment for malaria because one of the problems was he couldn't get medicine for malaria to his troops, so he had to make his own.
I would have loved to be under this man's command.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of which, though, he is known to have contracted malaria and no less than at least 10 times throughout the war, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I think conditions could have been better at the front line, to say the very least.
Better than being dead.
Yeah. You know, there is one thing I could think of that the SJW crowd would legitimately try to cancel someone like Leto Vorbeck for. But it is... It's one of those hilarious but true stories. So it turns out that sometimes to do reconnaissance of enemy positions, he would actually disguise himself as a local to just do some scouting unnoticed.
I don't even think the locals would have been offended.
I agree.
They did, they're like, alright, just move along. And honestly, it's a war. Nobody would give a shit.
Yep.
And besides, would you rather go scouting around as the whitest guy in the area? Or disguise yourself to hide?
Yeah, exactly.
I would choose the disguise. I'm not going out as a shining beacon of stupidity.
Sebastian says I also heard he did some questionable things to the Hottentots. Okay, so I know the story you're talking about. It was, well, it technically wasn't Leto Vorbeck, it was his superior, and Leto Vorbeck was actually wounded at the time. So what happened was, this happened before the war, and so what happened was apparently there was an uprising in one of the other German colonies, and so Vorbeck's commander apparently drove off the locals that were rebelling away from all the water supplies to basically dehydrate them into submission. So, I think, from what I understand, this killed a lot of people this way, something like 40,000. So this is a pretty messed up thing that did happen, absolutely. Although it appears to have occurred over a very short period of time. Like I said, Leto Vorbeck was wounded at the time. Now, he does appear to have been pissed off at the German bureaucracy and all that. So that's more... Although that could be, from what I've seen, just a case of... a classic case of people getting pissed off at folks behind the lines telling folks at the front, thinking they know better than folks at the front. I'm not going to say that Leto made the right call, trying to stand up for his commander on that, but I'm not entirely sure how much he knew about what was going on that. Like I said, he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Gutentrom says, but remember the Hottentots were kind of savage and kept on fighting with a hero. Either kill one of them or both. That's how we used to pacify colonies. Now I do know from what I have read from his autobiographies and whatnot, he seemed to actually speak of nothing but respect for them, though at the same time he basically saw them as capable warriors and all that. And skillful and crafty soldiers, so that's how he viewed them, typically, so... I've never actually seen him actually speak ill of either group, is what I'm saying. Of course, there is one book of his that he apparently wrote from 1920s I should probably try to read just to get just to see exactly what everything he said. Now, there is one thing I will say is true about Leto Vorbeck. The man was an imperialist. Basically his view of it was that the people in the colonies were as German as he was, basically. So that's the sort of imperialism that he was going after.
I've been getting recommendations for clips from a show called Danger 5, and I'm like, wait, when the fuck did this show come out?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's an Australian show that's like falls to the wall, so it's pretty fucking funny. Like it's basically a satirization of different types of genres. Like the first season was, a spy spoof genre with Adolf Hitler, and I believe season 2 was more of a spoof of what's its name, high school shows.
Austin Montenegro says, hey, nice man. Guten Trump says he portrayed the Hatanos as enemy combatants that he won against. There was no hatred against. Yeah, that's exactly how he portrayed them.
Are we sure this man wasn't becoming the Grand Admiral Thrawn just in white paint?
I mean, maybe he was.
Like, it's not that far of a stretch. It wouldn't surprise me if Timothy Zahn was at least, influenced by that.
Maybe.
Along with, Sherlock Holmes.
Yep. Actually, wait. Sherlock Holmes was before Leto Vorbeck, so... Austin says, love some Verdun, might join ya. Speaking of which, now's a good time to actually switch weapons, so... I'm gonna go ahead and get the Madsen out.
Yeah, you're quite literally fighting with a pea shooter.
Yeah, but it's also a pea shooter with 32 rounds. And in this game, most things kill you in 1 or 2 hits anyways.
SJWs hate everything, including the ground they live on.
Yeah, Gutentrom says, also, how would SJWs or anyone hate Leto? They're claiming he's a racist who was also anti-Semitic.
But he didn't say it that politely.
He did, yeah, I did tell Hitler to go fuck himself, which is glorious.
Yeah. You gotta give him that. He told Hitler to fuck himself. Go fuck yourself with your one ball, you one-balled cunt. He probably would have told Stalin off, too.
He was also one of the only... He was actually so well respected by the Entente troops that after World War II, they actually gave the man and his Ascari a pension. His enemies gave him a pension.
That is insane.
In fact, one of his enemies, he actually became good friends with, General Ian Smuts, who was a Boer who had originally fought against the British, but then during World War I had joined with them because, well, he lost the Boers' War. So a guerrilla warfare expert was his main opponent, and he still was undefeated. Austin says, well, not many people play it, but it's more accurate depiction of World War I than any other game I've seen. It is pretty good, yes.
Oh my god, I'm seeing recommendations for the Avengers video game.
How bad is it?
It's still a shit show.
Oh dear. Speaking of video games, did you hear we're getting 2 new Battlefield games?
I thought Battlefield 5 killed the franchise.
Nope, there's going to be a Battlefield 6. But here's the bad news. One of the new Battlefield games is confirmed to be a mobile game.
Shit!
You know, the one platform that is absolutely terrible for that genre.
Yep. Yes.
Then again, who knows? Maybe Battlefield 6, the PC and console version, will actually be good. I know the mobile version's not coming out until next year, so who knows?
Given how Battlefield 5 turned out, I'm not gonna hold my breath. They either learned their lesson or they didn't.
They might have, because I heard that with the Pacific update, they really tried to tone down their wokeness and all that, but the game is still a buggy mess. Sebastian says near future setting apparently. I did hear that. I did hear that it's probably going to be a modern setting, although we won't know until it's confirmed, so... Now, there is a rumor that they might also just name it Battlefield rather than give it any number or any extra thing, just to make it all the more confusing, because we're up to Battlefield 1942 is the original, we also got Battlefield 1, and now we have Battlefield, apparently.
What is this? The Xbox? Xbox 360, Xbox One, that equals Xbox One S.
Even the Xbox One S is not as stupid with its naming as that. At least they called the...
At least PlayStation keeps it numbered.
Yep.
Even though they fucking hate Japanese devs.
Austin says BF5 blows my all the time. Favorite Battlefield game is Bad Company game and the old World War II 1922 game. That's probably it.
Oh yeah, Bad Company all the way.
Bad Company is pretty fun.
You'll never meet a more rifle squad in a war game.
So Austin, since you're a fan of 1942 and since you're also a fan of Verdun, might I interest you in a mod that was made by some of the devs of Verdun? A mod that was made by some of the devs. Okay, so I was saying to Austin if he would be interested in a mod that was made by some of the devs of Verdun for 1942. The same mod that I also helped work on, by the way. Like, I know we got some brand new stuff coming with the version 3.4 when it does come out, which probably will be a while, but I know we already got one brand new faction confirmed. I'm just not going to spoil what it is yet until...
Interesting.
But yeah, so I think right now... Austin says, no way, really? Yes, Battlefield 1918. We are still in development, still doing updates. The latest version is version 3.3. We are up to how many new nations now? I think we're up to, I want to say 21 or 22 nations. Or playable factions, I should say. So you have all your well-known World War I nations such as Britain, France, Germany, Austria-Hungary, Russia, Italy, all those nations, Ottoman Empire too. We also, of course, have colonial forces like the Canadians, the Anzacs. Well, actually, Anzacs are now split into both Australia and New Zealand.
The Canadians kicked a surprising amount of ass in World War I.
Mm-hmm. We've also got minor nations like the Belgians are in. We also have the Serbians, the Bulgarians, and Montenegro as well. So so we have a Montenegro faction in the game.
Interesting.
And also different uniforms and equipment per era of the war, so early war uniforms and late war uniforms.
Oh god, I'd hate to see the size of that file.
I'm pretty sure it's, like I said, it's for the original 1942, so it's maybe, 3 or so gigs?
Okay, that's not bad. It ain't like what you call a modern game where it's like 10K cuts.
But given that the original game is maybe a gig or two in size, I'd have to check. Sebastian asks, what do you think of Enlisted? I have not played it yet, so I'd have to give it a try before.
Yeah, it's made by the War Thunder people, and it's like, them doing a first-person shooter, this would be glorious.
Okay.
Because they can't balance first shit. Like, it's a joke in the community that their balancing is like taking a sledgehammer to the plane. or tank or both.
I've heard that the balance in the game is a little bit hilarious.
Oh, it is downright near impossible not to laugh.
Hello there, R3T20.
Hello there.
And apparently someone's found a way to get the R3T20 to bounce sailboat rounds. Because God does not hate us enough yet. Well. Austin says, lol, yeah, sounds great, man. I thought the other day if Verdun had Battlefield 1 graphics and played the same way as Verdun, yeah, the game would sell pretty well. Yep. Well, like I said, this is a mod for 1942, though, so its graphics are not that impressive, admittedly. Sebastian
well,
says...
I can handle graphics. I can definitely handle old graphics.
We do also, by the way, have tons of maps as well in the mod, so... And single-player support.
And there's less gigabyte space. And it's only 3 gigabytes.
Something like that. It might be more or less, but that sounds like roughly around where it should be. To be fair, there are massive, genuinely massive mods out there to other ones. Like, I know that Forgotten Hope, if you get Forgotten Hope and the FHSW expansion, that is something like 17 gigs or something. Do you mind if I, Victoria says, do you mind if I send it to you via Facebook? Yeah, I do actually have a Facebook page, so yes, you can send it to me that way if you want. Just look up Ace 1918 and you should be good to go.
The Gaijin experience.
Yep.
I wonder if they're based in Japan. The
Gaijin?
War Thunder team? Because they're called Gaijin.
Gaijin is Russia.
Really?
Yep.
Fuck. So I was having my data school in my Russian the entire time. I can't do Russian. Motherfucker. Yes, Austin, I agree. With graphics aren't everything.
Same here. In fact, having been playing some of that Halo Master Chief Collection, I will say this, if you play through the Master Chief Collection and play through Halo 1, on the map where you get introduced to the Flood, play it with the original graphics rather than the remaster because the original does the art design better.
Ruins it. Makes it impossible. Like, it's like, oh, I'm not scared at all.
Alright, so we've gotten this front line trench here taken. I think after this I'll switch the squad up to being a Stoßtruppen squad, so that'll give me access to the MP-18.
Huh. Can you enjoy new canon if you dislike the sequels? Yes, but why would you enjoy new canon?
Austin says I stopped playing War Thunder a long time ago after update 1.4.
I stopped playing as well.
Yeah, when it comes to MMOs like that, I usually just go on a massive binge for a month or two, and then I just get completely burned out, and then won't touch it for a few years, and then rinse repeat, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit, with the way the progression system is handled in new Battlefield games, it is the exact same way there for me as well. Because when you have to...
usually go for multiplayer.
Yeah, but when it's the Battlefield games and they don't do bot support anymore on the new ones, you kind of have to do multiplayer to get any enjoyment out of them.
Mm-hmm. You campaign.
So yeah, as I was saying, what happens with me on, like, take Battlefield 1 for example. It took me something like 240 hours just to unlock everything in that. And by the time you get that done, and that's me grinding to unlock everything. And once you get that done, it just sucks all the fun out of the game after that. Or, no, it doesn't quite suck at all, but it does taint your perspective of the game.
I didn't even give Star Wars Battlefront the 2017 version. I didn't even give that a chance.
Well, they did add bot support, so I did once they did that. Because that game...
I mean, like, not the original, but what you call it, the EA one.
Yeah. Yeah, they introduced bot support to Battlefront 2017.
In some little attempt to keep the game alive.
Yeah, but hey, it's instantly made it one of the best attempts at Battlefront or one of the best attempts at a Battlefield game in a while. Having bots makes the game instantly better by tenfold.
Like, you know, there's probably already a mod out there now that makes the, what's called the, that makes the 2017 version play like the 2005 version. I would not be surprised because I played the 2005 version. I prefer the control to that one.
Well, we seem to be doing pretty good holding this particular trench here. Hopefully, if this keeps up, we'll be able to... got shot there. Alright, so
Free Expression Awards, presented by... Oh, yeah, what's it called? The Expression Award video. 20k dislikes. Jesus.
It was at that. Now it's closer to what? Thinking it's up to now. So now we are playing as Stosstroppen.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's somewhere more around 40 to 60k.
It's something like 30 to 40k.
Gute Trauma. I love how EA can't name a game properly. They released Battlefront 2 and they released Battlefront 2.
No, they didn't actually release the original Battlefront 2. That was LucasArts.
No, they never did. That was Pandemic and LucasArts all the way.
Yeah. And
which is now reinstated as Lucasfilm Games, which is what LucasArts was originally called. Do you see the stupidity here?
Yeah.
I hate sharing the same name with that idiot in the office. I hate him with a goddamn passion.
So did you see the other so you saw the Buckets of Blood Star Wars Adventures comic, right?
Yeah, it was, I'm like, how is this guy a Jedi?
So then you know about them advertising other comics that they work on that are also Star Wars. Did you see the advertisement for the one comic where they think it's a ghost story, so they decide to try to make it sound like it's a horror story?
Their lack of brains. I find their lack of brains disturbing.
Agreed.
Oh god. I have practically given up completely on the Disney canon.
Yeah, same here.
Especially after 2017, and I wasn't surprised with Rebels being the way it was, given Space Aladdin. And I refuse to call that little shit anything but Space Aladdin because I fucking hate that show. Like the only... Oh yeah, the High Republic started ripping off rebels now, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, they've run so little out of creativity that they've decided to rip off themselves. That's
They've been
impressive.
ripping off themselves for at least a couple years now.
Yeah.
Like, one of the new Star Wars characters is literally named Pablo Hidalgo, it's just a girl. So Pablo Hidalgo, or whatever.
Wow.
And when the author was asked, wait, Pablo Hidalgo? He's like, yep, the architect himself. So Pablo Hidalgo, of course, that. Yeah. Don't do Aladdin's game. Well, it's not my fault he ended up in Rebel. Disney can't be evil. They need a soul to be evil.
That is some
That's the
destruction
problem.
100 right there.
No, the Chinese government is evil.
Yep. The Mandalorian is
should
good
go.
though, says Sebastian. Yeah, although they are trying to destroy that with...
I heard Gina Carano's getting rehired because of, you know, the bullshit around her firing.
Ooh. So,
Of
you're
course, I
telling
could
me
be wrong, but the way they fired her was completely unexpected.
Yeah,
They
and
didn't
everyone...
even tell her ass.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's even...
That is coward.
Yeah, and everyone is pissed off about it. If you actually go and look at whenever they put up ads on the, or whenever they put up trailers on the Star Wars page, YouTube channel, it's always people talking about Gina Carano.
Yeah, basically, the fans giving them the middle finger.
Exactly.
It's just I don't know where the Mandalorian could go after season 2.
Los, Attacke!
I don't know where it could possibly go. Oh yeah, I've also have contributed to the ratioing of the High Republic videos because why not?
Yep. Same here. I mean, the fact that they've now decided to make it so that one of the big enemies is the Hutt cartel trying to form an empire or some crap like that. You heard about that, right?
No, I did not.
Yeah, the big plot twist in Marvel's High Republic issue 4 is that the Hutts have created an army and are trying to create a empire with their Hutt cartel by taking over planets. And it gets better. Allow me to describe the plot and see if you can see what their inspiration is. The planet in question... by the way, I'm actually going to call the stream at the end of this, so I'll just get to the main menu and just tell you this bit before I head out.
Großer und triumphaler Sieg für das Reich.
Apparently I got a few achievements out of that, so that's something. 4 achievements. Huh.
Oh yeah, there's like 10 seconds of the match left.
Apparently you're on the delay there. That's why.
Victory.
Yep. All right. So I will go ahead and leave that. And now let's go ahead and what I was talking about. So at the end of issue 4, here's a rough description of the plot. Turns out the Jedi have ended up arriving on a planet infested with mind-altering weeds.
The Borg.
Weeds that alter your state of mind.
The Borg.
And it appears that these weeds are being shipped across, or being transported via the Hutts, the Hutt cartel. And the Hutt cartel are also trying to take over. So, it's not the Borg. Let's just say someone apparently seems to have taken the phrase High Republic a little bit too literally. It's the reefer madness of comic books.
Oh God. You know, most of those people are mostly stoners anyway.
Which is ironic when you think about it.
Too ironic.
Did you see the cringe song thing that I did an archival upload of?
Yeah, I saw it. It's like, dude, really? Why are you embarrassing yourself? Like, you probably destroyed his, his reputation afterwards.
Yep. But yeah, so we've been at it for 2 hours. I think now's a good time to call it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's had a good time while watching the stream. Sebastian says Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boda is just, to me, just pandering at this point. Wow, that's dumb.
Hey, it's Robert Rodriguez and what's his name? Jon Favreau, so we'll at least get something good out of it.
But yeah, so anyways, this has been Ace. And I'm glad that you have all joined me on the stream. I hope you all have a good time. And until then, until next time, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.
Yep, and this is where I get.